Once a child can demonstrate the ability to produce a speech sound accurately once given a model, they're said to be stimulable. Now, simply put, if you're able to present the child with a speech sound and they can say it back accurately, they are stimulable. Now, stimulability is a key concept for speech pathologists. It's the first thing we look for after identifying a misarticulation. If a child is considered to be stimulable, then we know they're easier to work with in developing that speech sound from the sound level right up into conversation. Is your child stimulable? Let's find out. First, draw their attention to your mouth as you model the sound. Model the sound a few times for them. S, s, s. When your child attempts the sound, pay close attention to their mouth. Make sure the tongue is staying inside during their productions. S, s, s. If the tongue is coming outside of the mouth, odds are it's distorting the S sound. So how'd you do? If you are stimulable, great. You have an excellent starting point for beginning to work on your S sound. If you weren't stimulable, don't worry about it. We have some techniques coming up that will help you develop stimulability. But first, we need to talk about what's occurring in our mouth when we're saying our S sound accurately. Now, an S is produced by channeling the air stream such that it's coming out the front of our mouth and hitting our teeth. If the airflow is blocked in the front by our tongue, it'll shoot out the sides, creating a louder lisp. So the key is really getting the air to hit our teeth in the front. Now, we've got to talk about the Bernoulli effect. Take a garden hose. When you put your thumb over a garden hose, it'll spray 15 feet or more. But when you don't have your thumb on it, it'll just dribble out a few feet. Well, the same thing has to occur in our mouth. Our tongue has to restrict the airflow such that it accelerates the air and it hits our teeth in the front. Now, in terms of tongue placement, we can place it in one of two places. We can put it up top, which is a typical and traditional way of doing it. But sometimes I find we can have success if we drop our tongue to the bottom of our mouth and aim the airstream at our lower teeth. The first technique I'd like to talk about is the bite and grin technique. Now, a big problem that kids have when saying their S sound is their tongue's coming outside of their mouth, coming too far forward and distorting the S sound. Simply by biting down and preventing that tongue from coming outside of the mouth, we can sometimes produce an accurate S sound. The grin element helps in retracting the tongue and preventing it from coming too far forward. So having them smile or grin while they do it is an excellent accompaniment to the exercise. The second technique I'd like to show you, I call the straw technique. Now, typically, one of the errors a child can make when saying their S sound is blocking the airflow in the front of their mouth by touching their tongue to either their front teeth or the alveolar ridge, which is behind the front teeth. Now, if we take the straw and we put it right behind our front teeth and we hold it with our tongue, we should be able to make the straw resonate. Now watch what happens when I pull the straw out of my mouth. We get an excellent S sound. Practice this for a bit. With a little bit of work, you can usually get your S sound. If your child is stimulable for the S sound, then now is the perfect time to be working on it. Now, whether you choose to work with us through our speech pathway program or work with your own speech language pathologist on your own program, the important thing is that you keep working on it to develop that sound and get it into conversation. Now, if your child's not stimulable for the S sound, we need to consider how old your child is. If your child's 5, 6 years old, they're still considered young and not expected to have that sound. And depending on whose norms you look at, some kids aren't expected to have it till 7 or 8. And some speech pathologists prefer working on the S sound when the kids are older, because typically they respond better. Now, I believe if you can get a child early and they're stimulable and you're able to work on it and get some results, then by all means do it. The earlier you can get the problem resolved, the better it's going to be for them. Now, if you're struggling and having trouble, look for a speech pathologist to help you. They can be invaluable in helping you sort this problem out.